Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, it usually means a good day for us.
It also means that if you're inclined to cast a spell on anybody, today might be the day to do it.
Yeah, with a full moon.
Full moon, no less.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But it wasn't very lucky for the Knights Templars because this is how all of this started. When
right.
they were hunted down and they tried to exterminate them.
Massacred.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, be careful. You don't want to mispronounce words. We'll get the Bible bullies after us again.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean they still haven't learned anything?
9 days and still no apology.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's interesting
Go ahead.
because I'm not the only one this person owes an apology to. I'm hearing that they have been unfriended and banned or blocked on several others' Facebook for attacking them. So,
Well, speaking of apologies, since you went there, I can recall a certain YouTuber, I won't mention anybody's name, but Mark Latham, a couple years ago, did a video regarding Watchtower's audit checklist. And when he did that video, he mentioned that they're being instructed to destroy evidence. And there were certain little factions in the ex-Jehovah's Witness community that went after Mark and told him he was wrong. They're not destroying evidence. You don't have this interpreted right. Now that the Australian Royal Commission
admits they destroyed evidence.
finds out they destroy evidence, where's the apology due Mark Latham, people? Where's that man's apology? He was right. You were wrong. Make no mistake about it, friends. I'm not here to play games. I'm not here to play games. This organization is killing people. They are destroying lives and families. Make no mistake about what my intentions are.
Yeah, and we're not going to shut up and keep quiet about anything either. Even what's going on in the XJW community. All right, now to the purpose of the video. Oh, I need more coffee for this one.
You and me both.
Okay. Diocese bankruptcy. The Rochester, New York Catholic Diocese has filed bankruptcy. And I'm going to put the link down below to this article. I wish I could say this was Watchtower, but unfortunately,
No.
it's
Just
not.
give it a little more time, dear.
Yeah.
Because Watchtower is going to follow Mother right down the shitter.
Well, that's the thing, is, you know, if someone as large and powerful and rich as the Roman Catholic Church, you know, is filing Chapter 11, you know, with these dioceses, I mean, who is Watchtower compared to them? I mean, really.
Watchtower is not even a guppy in a big pond.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I'm going to put the link down below. The Roman Catholic Diocese of Rochester, facing potentially huge judgments for past sexual abuse by its priests and other ministers, filed for bankruptcy protection Thursday morning. This was a very difficult and painful decision, Rochester Bishop Salvatore Matano said at an afternoon news conference that detailed the action. The diocese filed this petition for Chapter 11 reorganization in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Rochester at about 9:30 a.m. The petition estimates the diocese assets as $50 to $100 million. Okay, now keep that in mind. They've only got $50 to $100 million, you know, in their assets. The petition, and its financial liabilities as $100 million to $500 million. So see, they know they don't have enough to pay all of these child abuse cases. And I can see the same thing happening with Watchtower.
Well, look at all the property they're selling right now, because as long as they've got property, that property can be seized to pay off all of these lawsuits.
So I'm going to play a clip right here for you guys to see, what they're saying about the Catholic Church.
I begin this letter by renewing my sincere apology to all those who have suffered sexual abuse by those clerics or church personnel who violated their position of trust. I am so very sorry for the suffering you have endured, and I pray for you every day. The diocese remains committed to helping victims find hope and healing, and to creating a safe environment for all, especially our children. In response to the tragedy of child sexual abuse, the New York State Child Victims Act was passed earlier this year. A one-year legal window to file lawsuits opened last month on August 14, 2019. As a result, the diocese now faces a significant number of claims of sexual abuse of a minor, all dating back decades. The diocese has not received a contemporaneous report of sexual abuse of a minor since 2006. Litigation costs and settlements or jury awards will exceed our resources, and the diocese will be unable to litigate or settle these claims. For that reason, and after much prayer, study, and consultation with diocesan consultative bodies, which include many laypersons who have expertise in these matters, the Diocese of Rochester has filed for bankruptcy under Chapter 11 of the United States Bankruptcy Code. This is a very difficult and painful decision. But after assessing all reasonable possibilities to satisfy the claims, reorganization is considered the best and fairest course of action for the victims and for the well-being of the diocese, its parishes, agencies, and institutions. We believe this is the only way we can provide just compensation for all who suffered the egregious sin of sexual abuse, while ensuring the continued commitment of the diocese to the mission of Christ. Enclosed with this letter is a document that provides, in a frequently asked questions format, the many details of this process. In summary, a Chapter 11 filing stops the collection of debts and legal actions and enables the diocese to form a reorganization plan that will detail how available assets will be used to settle claims and negotiate reasonable settlements. Had the diocese not filed under Chapter 11, it would face multiple civil actions, a slow, unpredictable, and costly process that would require years of court involvement, and those claimants who filed suits first would receive all the available funds to pay victims. As a result, later claimants would receive nothing. Most importantly, such lengthy proceedings delay justice for the victims and only prolong their pain and their suffering. All of the parishes are separately incorporated under the New York State Religious Corporation law. The parishes are not filing for bankruptcy. There will be in place what is called a channeling injunction, whereby a fund will be established from insurance and diocesan resources, and any of the circumstances concerning parishes will be channeled through that injunction. So the parishes should continue their ministries as they have been doing without interruption.
Yeah.
A reasonable person would look at the claims and the demands that are before us, demands approaching 100 million. They can review our resources and would come to the conclusion that we could not minister to every victim who comes forward and help them out if we did not go this route. We do sincerely consider this to be the best course of action for the victims and to be able to serve the greatest number of victims. And again, not to prolong the suffering they have already endured by lengthy trials and by very costly jury verdicts that could take our resources soon into the process. We really want to do the most we can.
And like Mike just mentioned, we're wondering, is this why Watchtower is starting to sell all of their property worldwide? Because they know if they go to bankruptcy court, they have to count all of their property as an asset in this paperwork.
That's right.
And they can be seized for future liabilities and court cases. So, you know, that's why it's good to do some research in, you know, bankruptcy, especially these Chapter 11s for these 501(c)(3)s, because, you know, their assets can be seized.
That's right.
Yes.
You know, it's no different than you, as an individual person, owing back taxes to the IRS and the IRS seizing your bank account. It's no different. This is just on a much grander scale, friends.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Rochester's diocese becomes the first of New York State's 8 dioceses and the 20th nationwide to seek protection from creditors in bankruptcy court because of financial fallout from the Catholic Church's decades-long child sex abuse scandal. I'm not going to read all of this, but I wanted to scroll down here because they talk about the bankruptcy filing is the direct result of a long anticipated flood of litigation triggered by New York's Child Victims Act. The act, adopted by the state legislature early this year, carved out a 1-year window during which the statute of limitations is lifted and accusers can file legal claims for sexual abuse they suffered as children, no matter how long ago the abuse occurred. The window opened on August 14th. Since then, more than 580 lawsuits have been filed statewide, with the lion's share of them accusing Roman Catholic priests, brothers, deacons, or nuns of abuse. So,
It's disgusting.
yeah. Down here, underneath all these ads, through Wednesday, the Rochester Diocese had been listed as a defendant in 59 legal claims filed under the Child Victims Act. Only the Diocese of Buffalo and Brooklyn and the Manhattan-based Archdiocese has been named in more CVA claims. So that's a lot of claims for one diocese.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The diocese had $55 million in net assets as of June 2018, most of it in investments in cash. But the bankruptcy filing anticipates that the accumulating weight of abuse payouts could consume those assets and threaten the diocese's financial foundation. Let's hope.
Well,
Let's
it's
hope.
because they built their church on sand.
Yeah, exactly. And then it just mentions again that the estimated liabilities in the petition of $100 million to $500 million reflect that reality. But, you know, here we go again, you know, and I hope every single one of these victims can, you know, have the courage to file these cases. And like I said, you know, if you have been a victim, please go to the website Justice for Abuse website, and you know, Zalkin started this new website, and you know, they will help you, and it's totally anonymous. And my goodness, let's see that these, you know, victims get justice. And these organizations, not just churches, but these organizations have got to be, you know, held accountable and responsible for all of this abuse.
Well, you know, I was thinking about what's a good way to illustrate what we have before us? And I thought of an illustration like this. In nature, if you look at the male lion and if you look at the grizzly bear, in the continent of the United States of America, North America in particular, you have the grizzly bear. The grizzly bear is considered the king of the beasts in North America. In Africa, in that part of the world, the lion is considered the king of the beast. When you look at the nature of these two animals, they will sire cubs. And when that cub reaches about a year, year and a half perhaps, that male, whether it be the grizzly bear or the lion, will kill its young just to bring the female back in estrus again so that he could breed with her. He will kill his own children. Now there's nothing any human being on this planet can do to change that behavior. It's wired in, it's programmed. There's nothing you can do to change that. In Watchtower land and in the ex-Jehovah's Witness community, there are those that are trying to get laws changed to protect the children, which is a wonderful thing. Those laws need to be changed. But you've got to ask yourself, how effective is that really going to be? Because there's already laws on the book. Because the nature of Watchtower is to circumvent the laws, if not outright disobey and break them.
Ignore them.
Ignore them. That's the nature of this Watchtower beast. So go ahead and do whatever you can to pass the laws to protect children. But also bear in mind, you're never going to change the beast because it's wired. It's hardwired into these people. It truly, truly is hardwired into these people, just like the grizzly bear and the lion. It's hardwired into them to kill their own children just to breed again with the female.
Well, the thing is look at something as simple as mandatory reporting for clergy, aka elders. They can't even follow that law, especially here in New Mexico. Several know about some child abuse cases here in New Mexico, and you can't get them to go to the authorities. So they can't even follow that simple law. So changing all these laws all over the world, yeah, it's a great thing and something to work for. But, look at what it goes back to. You've got to hurt these organizations and these religions where it counts, in their pocketbook.
Well, because see, no matter what law gets passed to protect children, stop the abuse.
Bank account.
Yeah. Some Jehovah's Witness governing body member somehow, some way is going to work out a talk, and they're going to hold up the Bible and they're going to quote the scripture that says, we must obey God as ruler rather than man. And it's interesting because I keep hearing in the ex-Jehovah's Witness community that stop the cart crashing. Stop crashing the kingdom halls. All you're going to do is drive these people underground. That's all you're going to do. They're just going to go underground. Well, no matter how many laws you try to get passed about child abuse, you're just going to drive this problem underground. Think about the connections and think about the mind of the beast.
And along those lines, we know several years ago there was some program started with FEMA, which those of you who are not in this country, is like the Federal Emergency Response, when there's like a natural disaster. if you want to do a little bit of research, just Google pastor response team. And this was a thorn in a lot of pastors, backside, because being a 501(c)(3) corporation, they are required to cooperate with government response teams and FEMA and all of this. And I don't remember his name, but we had seen it on Facebook a couple of years ago. And he was saying, look, you have got to start asking questions. The rank and file has got to start asking questions to their pastors if they are part of this pastor response team. Because if you are, you need to get out of that church. And it made me wonder, is Watchtower part of this? Especially since we know they're still members in the UN, as NGO members. And, with all these filings, constant filings with, the UN and the OSCE and all of this, is like, are they part of this FEMA program? If it is, Jehovah's Witnesses have got to get out of it.
Well, what does Watchtower not have its hand into? They've got their hands, well, it's not just in the cookie jar, it's all the way to the bottom of the cookie jar.
Well, if they're getting grants from all of these, hundreds of companies and organizations and individuals and foundations, it makes you wonder.
I know.
Yeah.
I see it, guys.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah.
I see it developing even in the ex-Jehovah's Witness community. I see it.
Oh, yeah. And if you don't comply and shut up, guess what? They start bad-mouthing you behind the scenes.
That's right.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm hearing about it, guys.
That's right.
So, anyway, thank you, everybody, for watching, and thank you for all of, your cards and
Thank
gifts.
you for the birthday card. Very much. Thank you.
Yes.
To the couple that sent it to me.
Yes. Yeah. Appreciate the birthday cards that Mikey got and the comments. And if any of you abuse survivors, have the courage, once again, please don't let them shut you up and go underground and forget about it. You need to add your voice to this movement. And
get in touch with Zalkin. Get in touch with a lawyer by yourself. You don't need a little group to do this. You can do this on your own.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And I want to thank the women who have come forward to let me know about the verbal abuse they have suffered on Facebook by the individual that abused me. So thank you. I appreciate it. So anyway, you all have a wonderful weekend. I know we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's our anniversary.
Yeah. What's it been? 40 years? 40 years as a Kim slave.
Maybe I should insert the clip right here. So there's a little story behind this. We were in a local home improvement store, like Home Depot, Lowe's, something like this, and I seen this guy and I filmed this, and I said, "This is me before coffee," and this smart ass goes, "No, that's you 24/7."
Yep.
So you all have a wonderful weekend and know that we love you.
Bye.
Bye.